Good to see you today. Hope you're having a good day. We are going to be thinking about Daniel's friends in the fiery furnace today. We're going to be looking at Daniel chapter 3 before we read the passage. Today's hymn, it's the hymn, Be With Me, Lord.
Be with me, Lord, I cannot live without thee. I dare not try to take one step alone. I cannot bear the loads of life unaided. I need thy strength to lean myself upon.
Let's look at our passage now. We'll come back to the hymn in a moment. Daniel 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and its width 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, the province of Babylon. So he sends word out, and everyone is going to be commanded to bow down. Down in verse 4, a herald cries out, to you it is commanded, O peoples, nations, languages, that in the time you hear the sound of all the music, you're going to fall down and worship the gold image that Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever doesn't fall down, they're going to be cast immediately into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. So at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the horn, flute, harp, lyre, and symphony with all kinds of music, all the people, nations, and languages fell down and worshipped the gold image which King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Now certain Chaldeans are going to accuse the Jews, and they say, O king, live forever. And they say, there are certain Jews whom you've set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not paid due regard to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the gold image which you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and fury, gave the command to bring those three, and they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke to them and said, Is it true that you don't serve my gods or worship the gold image which I have set up? I don't know how much time has gone by, but we'll simply say this. Notice Daniel's not included here. I don't know why. I don't think it's because Daniel bowed down to the idol. It may be that Daniel was high up enough that these individuals weren't ready to take on Daniel yet. Perhaps, just perhaps, I don't know. I don't know the full reason. Whatever reason they're singling out these three. Probably something personal. Anyway, back to the account. Nebuchadnezzar tells them, if you're ready at the time of all the music, and you fall down and worship the image, good. But if you don't worship, you're going to be cast immediately into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is the God who will deliver you from my hands? I also don't know why Nebuchadnezzar, it's Daniel who interprets the dream, and there's a recognition of God. But that has fallen by the wayside, hasn't it? And so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said, O king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If it is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us. If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor will we worship the gold image which you have set up. Okay, what we're going to be thinking about today, points that I wanted to make. I wanted to think about what the three individuals could have said. What excuses could they have given for bowing down to the idol? Because we also will be tempted to bow down to today's idols. So what excuses could they have said? Well, the first one is this. They could have said, well, everybody else is doing it. And everybody else was doing it. It's not a good excuse, is it? The Lord speaks about the broad path leads to destruction. And everybody else may be doing it. That's no reason for these three individuals to do it, though. And so they're not going to. Our second point is this. They could have said, well, but we've been ordered to. And that's true, they had been ordered to. But this is like the apostles when they were ordered to not preach in the name of Jesus. And they say, we should listen to God rather than man. Now, if man's laws do not conflict with God's laws, then we will submit. And I think these men were doing a good job, and I think Daniel was doing a good job. And they are respectful to the king. But at this point, they have to say no. But they easily could have said, well, we've been ordered to. A lot of folks will sin. A lot of folks will give up on God because their parents want them to, or their boss wants them to, or whatever else, their family, their other family. Well, whatever the case. Someone tells them to bow down to the idols of the day. They bow down simply because they've been told to. These three individuals, they could have said that, but they didn't. And then, of course, another thing they could have said is there in verse 18. They could have said, but what if we die? And their answer is very simple. If we die, so be it. We're still not going to bow down and worship the golden image. A lot of folks, they will bow down because if they don't bow down, it hurts. They suffer some sort of pain. Physical, usually not in this day and age perhaps, but might think about economic, financial things along those lines. But they hurt if they don't bow down to today's idolatry. And so, anyway, we know what's going to happen. Nebuchadnezzar, mad as a hornet, they heat up the furnace exceedingly hot to the point where those who take the individuals, those who take Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and by the way, that's their Babylonian names, those who take them, they end up dying themselves. But the three who are thrown into the midst of the burning furnace, Nebuchadnezzar looks and says, wait a minute. I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God, or the Son of the gods. So they pull them out, and they saw these men on whose bodies the fire had no power. The hair of their head was not singed, their garments, nor were their garments affected, and even the smell of fire was not on them. I had not noticed that before. They didn't even smell like fire. And Nebuchadnezzar says, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And the king promotes those individuals. Let's return to our hymn now. Verse 2. Be with me, Lord, and then if dangers threaten, if storms of trial burst above my head, if lashing seas leap everywhere about me, they cannot harm or make my heart afraid. Be with me, Lord, no other gift or blessing Thou couldst bestow could with this one compare, a constant sense of Thy abiding presence, where'er I am to feel that Thou art near. Be with me, Lord, when loneliness o'ertakes me, when I must weep amid the fires of pain. When shall come the hour of my departure, o'er worlds unknown, O Lord, be with me there. And that is all we need, and that is all Daniel's friends needed as well. Be with me. They're not bowing down to the world's idols. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Join us tomorrow for another portion of our daily praise.